On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what one, a blessed and wonderful Friday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. No, me peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So now the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog, so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps, to the name Friday the day when Mr. Michael smile upon some of the ones and ones them pocket. So whilst you're out there traversing the streets from Moran Point to Negril Point, as always, my peeps, safe travel, pan the gravel and continuously look out on the corner here, cause the old dirty corner boy them always out there. Alerts. So yesterday, my peeps, several schools right across Jamaica receive emails of bomb threats. Yeah, man. A serious business are going right now. The criminal elements, them, I take this thing here a step further. So several schools right across Jamaica was disrupted yesterday amid bomb threats. Now, the Communication, Forensic and Cyber Crimes Division is trying to determine the source of the email which led to the threats at several educational institutions. The threats disrupted school activities and resulted in panic among some students and parents on Thursday, which is yesterday. The police have since indicated that the threats were indeed a hoax. So we'll be now hearing from Senior Superintendent of Police, Stephanie Lindsay, head of the JCF Corporate Communication Unit, as she gives us a better understanding of what has been taking place in our nation's educational institutions. Listen.
It is a priority because for someone to do this, we really would want to know what was the intention, why would somebody decide to do something like that given what is happening. And like you heard from the parent, it created a lot of anxiety among parents and students and teachers, even the wider society, because a real situation could mean disaster. So these are not things that you joke around. This cannot be TikTok. So someone needs to be held accountable. So our intention is to find whoever is responsible for it. So our cybercrime department is definitely working, and our tech branch, they're working now to ascertain the source of the email. So it should have been sent to different persons and pages. So that's what they are working on now, because they would really want to know who is the individual or individuals behind this incident. It is not to be done, because when you have to pull resources from some critical areas to respond, because you have to pull, because it now becomes an emergency and we are trying to prevent a crisis. So we pull a lot of resources from some critical areas, leaving those places vulnerable, to treat it something that doesn't exist. It is very irresponsible.
Now, head of the country's crime portfolio, that's Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey, says Thursday's rounds of threats issued to the schools were issued to 14 schools across the country, and it may be linked to a foreign source. So classes were disrupted at the Greater Portmore High, the Ascot High, the Old Harbour High in St. Catherine, the Denby High, the Lennon High in Clarendon, and the Immaculate Conception High and the Isk High School in St. Andrew. Threats were also sent to a few primary and infant schools. So the threats were sent via an email. So we're going to hear from DCP Bailey, as he says a joint investigation has been launched with the United States-based Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI. Listen.
Our investigation so far I'm not going to get too detailed, but we are confident that it's an hoax, and we are working jointly with our international partners to get to the bottom of it. It's just someone trying to create some mischief, and we intend to get to the bottom of it. Coming from overseas. A number of officers from both the JCF and JDF were actually dispatched. When we have these type of incidents, it really impacts on our resources. The fire service was deployed, ambulances were deployed, both forces were deployed. We had our K9 that were also deployed. And then we look at time wasting, the emotional trauma, the impact on the parents, the impact on the children, the impact on the teachers.
Now, whilst it was confirmed by the Deputy Commissioner as being a hoax, we have seen an uptick in crime and violence and different types of criminal activities emerging out of Jamaica. So we must always be resolute and take these things serious, because it just may be a test to see the response of our country's security forces. So let's not take these things for granted, as criminal elements are hell-bent in creating havoc on our dearly beloved island home, Jamaica. Now over there in the troubled, crime-riddled, war-torn St. James Police Division, the political leaders are being urged to agree on an extension of the state of public emergency in the parish of St. James. So a call is being made for the leaders of both political parties to meet and discuss the possibility of extending the state of public emergency declared on Wednesday in the parish of St. James. The SOE, which will remain in effect for an initial 14 days, was imposed in response to increasing gang violence. So the Custos of St. James, Bishop Conrad Pitkin, says the leaders should also consider extending the measure as a part of efforts to reduce crime and violence in the parish. So now we're going to hear from the Custos of St. James, Bishop Conrad Pitkin. Listen.
I've never seen and will never see it as a permanent thing. It has to be a short-term measure. The deputy may say it's a tool, but how long are we going to use this tool? And how long are we going to deny the people of their rights? But in a short term, are we willing to give up some of our rights for a better parish, for a more stable parish? I remember the first SOE that was established. At the end of the year, murders went down by some 60-70%, right? From 300 plus down to 100 plus. The last SOE that was established a few months ago, murders went down. My information is that I think between January and June this year, we had 97 murders. Last year, the same time, we had 111. But all of a sudden, the landscape seemed to have been changing.
Now moving right along, my peeps, so over there in the troubled, war-torn, crime-riddled Clarendon Police Division, the body of a 60-year-old farmer was found in the Reckford district in Clarendon on Thursday morning. The farmer was identified by the police as Joseph Bell, but more affectionately known as Joe Bell in the district. It is believed by the police that the farmer's life was taken from Sunday, but his body was not found until Thursday morning. Now, reports reaching on the Spot News Media would have indicated that residents reportedly heard loud explosions sometime about 11:45 p.m. Sunday night. And on Thursday morning, the residents smelled a foul odor and went to investigate. And upon searching, the residents discovered Bell's partially decomposed body and called the police. On the arrival of the police, the body of the now deceased man was seen laying on its left side in a metal shed. It is said that the body was clad in a multicolored shirt, blue shorts and barefooted. The body was between a bed and a metal shelf and had what appears to be some woolly carnop wounds to the upper body and head. It is said that the police processed the scene and removed the body to the morgue pending postmortem and further investigation. Boy, may I tell you, the thing rough. Not even the senior citizens are being spared from the wrath of these criminal elements that continues to wreak havoc on our dearly beloved island home, Jamaica. Now the last story that we are going to talk about comes out of the troubled, war-torn, crime-riddled Kingston Western Police Division, as the Kingston Western Police have been making progress in their efforts to target criminal gangs behind a recent spike of knockings and clappings that has resulted in the loss of life of many. And all of this is presently happening right across the length and breadth of the Kingston Western Police Division. So we're going to hear from Senior Superintendent of Police Michael Phipps, head of the Kingston Western Police Division, who states that two men who are linked to a recent double knockings and clappings that resulted in the loss of life of two men in the community of Rosetown were charged on Wednesday. So we're going to hear from the senior superintendent. Listen.
Our efforts have resulted in the arrest of two members of the Bentley Lane gang. They are Navardo Lyons, otherwise called Bad. He is the leader of the Bentley Lane gang, and another top-tier member, Queen Owil, otherwise called Roy. These charges followed investigations into a double murder which was committed on the 21st of October this year in the Duff Street area of Rosetown. Similarly, we have laid charges of wounding with intent against Onan Orlando Martin, otherwise called Cow, of a Seacole Avenue address, Kingston 14, and this following investigations into a matter where a 27-year-old male was called out of his house by Martin and others with illegal firearm, which they used to shoot him.
Now, my peeps, make we get into the meat of the matter. Now, this is the infamous Navardo Lyons, a.k.a. Bad. Yeah, man, me I tell you, this is the old dirty kind of boy wreaking havoc in the Bentley Lane community of Maxfield Avenue. Hence the name, the Bentley Lane Gang. Now, this criminal element here has been wreaking havoc in that particular area and surrounding communities for years. He was recently released from prison from serving an 11-year sentence for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and other criminal-related offenses. Now this brother here is a living example of a leopard never changes its spots. And I'm not saying that some criminal elements cannot be redeemed or rehabilitated, but this criminal element here presently on your screen was certainly not rehabilitated, because after serving an 11-year prison sentence, literally just released just a few months ago, you come back and start keep up your bag of arms house again. Because whilst he was behind bars, he used to stay behind bars and instigate the lives of people on the streets. And in recent times, I did a vlog where his uncle, presently on your screen, known as Cruise Nation, was trailed by criminal rivals and conned up, leaving him lifeless, no longer among the land of the living. So the family has a criminal history, as brothers and cousins and nephews and uncles are all a part of that massive criminal syndicate known as the Bentley Lane Gang. So go on bad, but this time a prison, pun intended. Yeah, man. Now, as it relates to Queen Howell, otherwise known as Roy, I don't have a picture for him presently, but he is another top-tier member in that criminal organization. So I just hope that this time the Kingston Western Police can definitely put them things together the right way, due diligence, and present it before the court. And I just hope that these new firearm acts and new legislation set in place, Your Honor, will use the full force of the law on him and lock him away forever, so that the residents can return to their homes. because many of who were born and bred in that era had to move away, some have to run away because of what is happening in that particular space. Now there's an ongoing gang feud with rivals from neighboring community of Rosestown, and many of its residents had to flee, leaving behind their homes. It is really sad to see how these criminal elements who were born and bred in the era can grow up to become such monsters, and instead of adding to the community, they continue to deplete the community. Boy, me I tell you, my peeps, the thing rough. But a job well done again to the Kingston Western Police for capture these criminal elements and take them off the streets. So now my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscasts. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.